Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, a storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. And wrapping it up, we have Eric Clark, the soul speaker and author. He's here to soulfully help you craft your story and narrative. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the Family.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Thankful Thursday. We reminded you yesterday. Are you guys ready? Did you go to bed thinking about what you're thankful for? Are you ready to share with us this morning what's coming up for you when you think about gratitude? That's where we are, because gratitude will change your perspective. Gratitude will change your energy. It will change how you feel. And I was just talking with the fellows this morning going, I woke up a ick this morning. I'm not feeling my best. There's a couple things that kind of got underneath my skin, reminding me that even as a mindset coach, even though it's something that I live, something that I practice, something that I teach, I'm still human. And so, and because we're human, we have to really be mindful of how we're showing up, mindful of what we're allowing in, and making sure that we're shielding ourselves and protecting our peace. And every once in a while, you got to have your little gripe session. I just had mine. But you can't stay there. You can't stay there. You need to do the work to reshift that energy and get yourself in the right mindset to win your day. Because guess what? Whoever or whatever got under your skin has already moved on and in doing the whatever's next for them. Probably don't care that your feathers are ruffled. They're living their life, and you choose to carry that stuff with you. Then you just allow it to affect you just that much longer. So this morning, I'm shifting. I'm going to be in transition as we go through today's topic, because I am using the tool of gratitude and the things that we're going to talk about to actually shift my mood and lift it and lighten the load in real time as we're going through it. Because if the truth is the truth, and it is, I'm a little blah this morning. So, but I know that I have the tools. I have the team. I have a support system. I have folks who will help me readjust when I need to. And even when I'm on my own, I know what I can do. And today's a great day to be a little oomph, because I know that as we go through this day, even just the music, the lightheartedness of it, the flow of it, it lifts my spirits. It reminds me of our collective. It reminds me of what we're about to do. And just that alone helps me to get going. And then I get to talk to each one of you. I get to hang out with my bros this morning and talk to you guys and hear what's going on. Ali is saying blessings, everyone. Beatrice is greeting us. So I'm feeling better already. So I'm going to start by sharing our quote for the day. And then we're going to just keep moving forward, and we're going to I'm taking stock, right before the call, I took stock of kind of how I was feeling and where the heaviness is. And I'm going to take stock again at the end of the show and just give myself the opportunity to feel that transition, feel myself getting lighter, getting adjusted, so that I am ready. I am ready to tackle whatever else shows up for the rest of the day. So our quote for the day is, when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in, by Kristin Armstrong. Now, how appropriate is that? Based on what we just talked about, fellas, and the mood you guys caught me in first thing in the morning, how appropriate is this quote? I didn't know what morning was going to be like when I chose it. I don't think anything is by accident. We get what we need when we need it. And this is a perfect quote to help me continue the journey that I have for today. When we focus on our gratitude, and it's a choice, guys. We choose where we put our focus. A lot of times we don't realize that we're making a choice, but as soon as you tap in and you understand that the choice is yours, that you can choose to look up, down, left, right, you're making that decision. Just like you're deciding where your eyes are going to go, you can also decide where your internal focus is going to go. And so I choose in this moment right now to listen on to, I'm looking at Ali, and that made me say, listen. He says, switching on YouTube as LinkedIn glitches are annoying. Love and gratitude are superpowers. So there must be some glitching that they're seeing on some of the platforms. Thank you guys for switching. That's the great thing about being, that's another thing to be grateful for. You know, we're available on multiple platforms. So if one's not working, you can do just what Ollie did and switch to the other. And so I don't have to get farther frustrated. I don't have to get upset by technology. Everything happens for a reason, and it's all happening for me and not to me. Everything eventually comes together for my greater good. When you believe that, when you know that, you can kind of shake off that ick a lot faster than when all you can see is the ick. You can't see past it. You can't see around it. You just know how you're feeling in that moment. Acknowledge your feelings. They're valid. They're absolutely valid. All I'm saying is don't allow that to control everything else, because eventually it gets so heavy that it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So yes, we acknowledge our feelings when things are not going the way we'd like, but then we decide, we make a choice to focus on the solution, not on just how we're feeling. So what's my solution from getting out of my icky morning? It's to show up with you guys. It's to really embody this quote. It's to talk about what I'm thankful for. It's to be transparent when I'm not at my best, because everybody gets there sometimes. And I think the worst thing that we can do, especially when we're showing up in a public space, is to be spit and polished all the time. Everything's perfect. Everything's rosy. I have it together all the time. Not factual at all. So I think it's important to every once in a while to just say, today I'm not at my best. I'm a little tired. I'm still a little jet lagged. I'm trying to get back into the flow. The holidays are upon me. I still have a lot to do. And I woke up this morning and I just felt, grateful to be awake, but just kind of feeling that ick. But being here and having this conversation helps. It immediately helps me to start to think about all the things that I have grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm talking to Ollie in another part of the world. I'm grateful that Beatrice is here. I don't know if I've seen your name in the last couple of days, but it always makes me smile, Beatrice, when I see it. You always show up. You always have great uplifting comments. There's my mom. Good morning, fam. There you go. Something to be grateful for. I still have a mom. She's down and out right now, y'all. She has COVID. So she's not feeling her best, but thank God she's still here. Ollie said, good morning, Joanne, and that he's grateful to watch amazing humans here. We are grateful for you. LinkedIn user, I don't know, please type your name so we know who we're talking to. It says, good morning, the choice is yours. A powerful statement. It is. We have so much more power than what we give ourselves credit to. We are not victims of our emotions. We're not even victims of our past. We may have been victimized in our past. Some terrible stuff may have happened, but we don't have to continue to be a victim. We can take whatever we learned from those difficult experiences, incorporate those lessons into our lives, and let go of the rest of it. We're not going to ever say it was okay. We're not going to ever condone it, but we're also not going to allow it to be baggage that we drag through the rest of our lives. At some point, we unhinge from it. We let it go, and we just take the blessings from it. You're like, what blessings could I get from a horrible experience? You learn how resilient you are. You have in your history the fact that you've gotten through difficult things. So you know when the next difficult thing comes along, you can. You know, things that we learn about ourselves through our difficulties that we would never know in the good times. The mountain has one view, the valley has another, and it takes both of those views to really understand who we are in our entirety. So those valley experiences, as bad as they may feel and seem in the moment, when we come out of them and we find ourselves back on that mountain, we are different than before we made that climb. We have strength that we didn't know we had. Things are different. It looks like, am I still connected to you guys on LinkedIn? I'm seeing
Yes.
we
And I
are
actually
okay.
just stopped my stream on LinkedIn to see if that helps.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure, especially in like what Ollie just said, it seems like LinkedIn may be having some issues this morning. I see quite a few people are on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I'm not sure about Facebook yet, but we are streaming multiple places. So hopefully, wherever you are, you can catch what we're saying.
That was
So,
Cassandra. Maybe since I'm streaming, you're streaming, we have different streams on LinkedIn, that if I could just disconnect that, I might have things.
okay, sure, it's worth a shot. That's for sure. Because I actually see you with it always looks like you're a video that needs to be played on my screen right now, and I don't see Jay at all. Just a black spot. So
I
Jay,
see
can you
Jay.
really? So
And
it could be my connection then. Jay, are you
okay.
able to, Jay, can you mute and speak?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear Eric just fine.
Can you hear me?
Can you speak, Jay?
Yeah, I'm speaking now. Can you hear me?
Jay's speaking now. Can you hear him?
Mm-mm. So it's me.
So it's,
All right.
yeah, but
That,
he's coming through loud, clear on my end, and everything is coming through loud and clear on my end. Like I said, I disconnected that other LinkedIn stream, and maybe that helps.
okay.
But we're hearing you loud and clear.
What I can
He's
do
saying
is I can.
LinkedIn is going backwards really often, and here's the YouTube. There are audio scratches, but at least I can hear you. That is interesting. Okay. So Jay just dropped, right?
Jay tried. He's going to see about disconnecting his LinkedIn too, and see if he can
Okay, I see.
coordinate this. So maybe it's just on your channel. If you do the additional live streams, it'll come through clear versus all of us doing the additional live streams.
Yeah, Alan is saying they drop my video quality, and that may help. Let me try that really quickly. And while I'm doing that, how do you feel about reading the quote that's below us and sharing your thoughts? And I'll see if I can get this video figured out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So to repeat our quote, you're welcome, Cassandra. So to complete our quote, or to speak our quote, say our quote again this morning. Focus on gratitude. The tide of disappointment goes out. The tide of love rushes in. And that's Kristin Armstrong. And so when I think about that, it immediately made me think of your goal setting workbook. It's been so powerful for me just to help me organize my thoughts and my goals. And so when I was going through my journal, because I actually transferred the prompts into my journal so that I can keep the workbook and continue to use it and use it as a resource, and use it as a resource again. So that goal setting workbook for me is something I think about when I think about Thankful Thursday. Those tools that the Fam5 has provided that has helped me really change my learning curve and be able to access the best of me, right, to help me grow in the service provider that I am. And so I immediately thought about the workbook this morning, and it's a great tool. It's a 3M goal setting workbook that Cassandra has. I think it's $15 or so on Amazon. I'll put the description or the link to the workbook in the chat this morning. But that's what I thought about immediately this morning, is organizing myself so that I can be appreciative and grateful for where I've come. Because as we've spoken about with resilience, I can reflect on what I've made it through versus spending time reliving and re-traumatizing myself really with the experiences that I've had in the past. And so I choose, I seek, I tell my story in a way that's empowering. And so that to me is what I think about this Thankful Thursday. And I appreciate the prompt you gave us yesterday. Go to sleep tonight with um, thinking about how you're going to be grateful, what you're grateful for, and wake up with a smile on your face. I woke up with a huge smile on my face this morning because I'm just excited about the fact that I am pushing to the front of my awareness what I'm grateful for. And so accepting that and what I'm grateful for, I can start the day appreciating moment by moment being here, right? Being above ground. Our brother Brian is not here with us this morning, but he would always say, and he always says, be grateful to be on this side of the grass. You didn't have to be. And so that is where I woke up this morning, how I took the quote. I can pass it to Jay if you're not ready, Cassandra, but I certainly am appreciative for that prompt you gave us yesterday about just be mindful, go to sleep tonight with what you're grateful for so that when you wake up in the morning, you're setting yourself up for success. You're setting yourself up to start on the right side of the bed, to be leaning forward, to be in a positive mindset and mind state. And so those things count. They matter, right? Because you could easily go the other way, right? As we had the conversation this morning, you get a message, you get something comes up that is negative or that is pulling you in a direction that's not where you're going. It doesn't even have to be negative. It could just be a distraction, not the direction you're headed in. But keeping that positive mindset, staying focused on your goals, understanding your goals, being thankful and grateful for where you are today in this moment keeps your direction, keeps your angle, your focus going where you need to go. And so I will throw it back to you, Cassandra, but I love Thursday. I know Thursday
It
is also our
shows,
sister
Eric.
Denise's day, but we love Thankful Thursday. So
It shows. You were
yeah.
dropping gems. I appreciate that. I love the fact that the prompt was meaningful and that helped. My mom said, "Speak, Eric," with lots of hearts, so she was able to hear. Coral is saying, "Hi, fam five." It sounds better, and thank you. It's Alon, I think it is. I did drop the video quality, and I think that helped quite a bit. Ali said, the gratitude that my body and heart are finally acknowledged, even if are still improvements. There's always going to be the opportunity for improvement. We're never going to hit that holy grail, right? Where but if you can appreciate where you are right now, you set yourself up to continue to evolve and get to even a higher state. So I love that, Ollie. He also said, I came into a quote that landed really deep on me. You cannot process what you refuse to feel. That is so true. And that's why I say all the time, acknowledge your feelings. You may have to sit in them for a little bit and let them resonate so you even understand what you're feeling. And once you understand it, once you've acknowledged that those feelings exist, now you're in a position to process them and maybe even manage them differently going forward. Something that triggered me today may not trigger me tomorrow if I take the time to really understand why it triggered me in the first place and do a little self-reflection and processing so that I can continue to evolve. But that takes honesty. That takes, you being able to look in the mirror and be honest with where you are in this moment. And in order for you to do that, you have to be okay, because you don't want to acknowledge it and then follow it by beating yourself up. You're a mindset coach. How dare you have negative feelings? I'm also human. They're going to come, right? And so when you can give yourself grace and the space that Ali is talking about to process these feelings, then you evolve and you move forward. Otherwise, we spin in the same place and we have the same experiences. They may look a little different, but the core of the experience is the same, spinning over and over and over again. When you find yourself in that position, stop the spin and stop and ask yourself, what am I to learn from this situation? When you figure that out and you learn that lesson, watch that experience change. It will change because it will have served you. It will have given you what you need so that you can elevate and maintain in the next level. Ali also says it's challenging with lack of light and raining. It's cold in Belgium. Yet I try also to have gratitude with my brother trees. There you go. He's grounding with you, Eric. Coral, our sister from the across the pond, said hi. Fam Five. Beatrice said appreciate every moment. Great reminder, Eric. And Coral says yes, appreciate where you are. Where you are right now. It's just a fact. It's where you are. Appreciate it, accept it, learn from it, because in that processing, you prepare yourself for the next step. So let me go back to the quote. And oh, I didn't get, look, mom, you got your airtime. Speak, Eric. But let's go back to the quote. When we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. And the one thing I want to say about Kristin Armstrong's quote before I pitch it to you, Jay, is nothing has changed in reality of this experience that she's talking about. The only thing that's different is where you're choosing the focus. All the external stuff, whatever is going on around you, remains the same. But just in focusing on the gratitude, you can get rid of those negative feelings, the tide of disappointment, the tide of hurt, the tide of frustration, the tide of anger, whatever feelings may come your way. You get past those, and the tide of love rushes in. Love for self, love for your life, love for humanity, even love for the experience, because you know that it's going to make you better, because everything works in your good. If you truly believe that, if you believe it, that things are going to work out for you, they will. If you believe that they won't. We have, because you won't be able to see the positive that's working out for you, because your focus is going to be on yet what is not going right. So even as things start to get better, you can miss it because of where your focus is. So we want to focus on our gratitude so that the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. I love that, Kristin Armstrong. All right, so over to you, Jay.
Thank you, Cassandra. You know, for me, when I when I read the quote, immediately I went back home because I'm from the Pacific Island. So the tides, right? You definitely have to be watching out for these tides. If you go fishing, if you go, try to enjoy yourself with the family at the beach, you really have to be mindful of it and make sure that you watch out for it. And as human beings, tides of emotions come into play. You were talking about your emotions this morning, how it was on the wrong side. We got to wait. We got to not wait for that other tide to come in. We got to be able to stand in the tide and make sure that we affect it and it comes in where it should be on the positive side of things. So, tides, the beach, you got me right away with that. Um, but on the other side of it, Kristen Armstrong, um, man, she was a bicycle road racer in the Olympics, and she goes all the way back to 2004. In the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens, she only got to eighth place. I say only. That's a huge accomplishment. I don't care who you are, right? Eighth place in the Olympics, right? She's not just in somebody's backyard going around the block, right? No, she was in the Olympics. She got eighth place, but she didn't feel that that was where she needed to be. So in the 2008 Olympics, she came back, made a made a record and broke it, and she was she had the gold medal in the 2008 Olympics. You see, so this is Kristen Armstrong. And so when you think of this quote, think of that achievement from 2004 placing 8 to breaking a record, shattering it, and getting a gold medal just 4 years later. Mindset, gratitude, the tide, changing that tide. And since we're on tides, and I always go to scripture. Let's go to Jonah chapter 2, verse 9. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed. I will make good. I will say, salvation comes from the Lord. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited out Jonah onto dry land. I shouted. He shouts with grateful praise, and he will sacrifice to God. See, if you don't know what happened before, Jonah was trying to run away from God, and he went into the sea. And long story short, he got swallowed up by this fish, the whale, right? Jonah and the whale. That's what we hear all the time. So he gets swallowed up by this creature in the sea. And in the moment where he finally succumbs and thanks God for the moment that he's in a creature in the sea. And he says, "All right, Lord, thank you. Because I could be dead at this moment, right? I could have been thrown into the sea and drowned. I could have been taken up by those people and killed. But here I am, alive in this sea creature. Thank you." And then he was expelled from the fish and set free. You see, this is us. We put ourselves sometimes in situations. And the only way that we can get out of these situations, if we just go into gratitude, if we just go into gratitude, this is what happens. We are able to then really understand where we can go, how we can be, what we can do. We have to stand in gratitude, right? And when we do stand in gratitude, we then can be really in a better position, in a better spot. And it takes mindfulness. It's going to take some work, especially if you're going through adversity. Man, what do I got to be thankful for? I just keep getting hit after hit after hit. People hitting me up in my DMs thinking I'm some sort of fool and I'm doing the wrong thing and they're chastising me left and right in social media. I'm just no good. I'm not in a good spot. Stop. Eric said it, right? And Brian says it all the time. He talks about being on this side of the grass. Jonah swallowed up by the whale. He could have been, "Okay, Lord, I'm done. Go ahead and take me." Instead, he thanked God for being in the position that he was in. No, imagine you being in some sort of position like that. Would you be thankful? Would you be grateful? I look back and I talk about it often, um, surviving a tornado and the aftermath that ensued, right? I could have been like many other people and just beat my chest and say, "Woe is me," man. I have the worst luck. If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. That kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with luck. It has nothing to do with luck. It has everything to do with faith and mindset. You could be in that moment all the time where you're just I could be in a better spot. I could be, doing something better. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Stand where you are and be grateful. Don't settle. There's a difference. Don't settle. Be grateful and thankful for what you have, where you are in this moment, looking ahead at the future to what could be. And like Kristin Armstrong did, went from eighth place to shattering a record and then having the gold medal. 4 years. That's all it took. She pedaled on. Would you have stopped? Would you have just said, okay, 2004, I got eighth place, go me? That's all I'm going to ever accomplish. Brian and I had a conversation the other day, and there's a book out there, and I think it was 3 Feet from Gold. And if you kind of understand what that is, right, you could be picking away at the walls of a cave trying to get to gold, and you just stop and, you settle. But you could be in a mindset of thankfulness. I'm here. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep persevering. That resilience that Eric was talking about, you keep pushing through. And before you know it, that 3 feet is gone and you hit gold, just like Kristin Armstrong hit gold. Be thankful for where you are, but look forward to breaking through to that gold or that gold medal.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I have to so Ollie was flexing his word muscle and his mastery of words and language. So I want to share a few of his comments that came through as you were speaking. Each day is a celebration, emotions, energies in motion. And then he's also said, where was it? Lessons learned, connect with God, and repent is the way we are in service. Always gratitude and connecting with God in any situation. You are a master, Ali. You are an absolute master of words. My mom said, speak, Jay. Come on, Jay. The answer to every problem is in the good book, Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. And then Ollie says, oh, lovely acronym, by the way, book illuminating bodies of light empowered. So he has another way of expanding on Bible. I love it. He also said, saying it's luck is dismissing the fact that we have a role to play and we have our parts in what happens. I agree with this wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. We all have a role to play in our own destiny, and doing that inner work, being willing to go in and to look at yourself honestly. Every situation that you've been in, you are the common denominator. So, yes, some people may have treated you badly, some stuff may have happened. But if we can look at the fact that we were a part of every situation that has happened in our lives, good, bad, or somewhere in between, that will really help us to evaluate how we're showing up, what role we're playing. I used to get really frustrated because I felt like people were always asking me for money, asking me for this, asking me for that, and there was no real reciprocity. And I felt like I was always being called upon to do, and it didn't matter how much I did, it was never enough. The next request was going to come, and it was coming from multiple places. But guess what? The common denominator was me. There was something about how I was showing up. There was something about how I was communicating. There was something about what I was contributing to these relationships that made it okay. So until I changed how I behaved, until I set boundaries for myself that I was comfortable with, then the only person to blame if I felt put upon, if I felt taken advantage of, whatever negative thing I allowed in, whatever I was feeling, the real person to blame was me, because I always had the opportunity to say no. So if I said yes begrudgingly, that's on me, right? But I also created those relationships where it made it okay for people to make very bad decisions with their own money because they just thought they, by some sort of osmosis, had access to mine. I'm just as much a part of that scenario as the individuals that are coming forward with their hands out. I had to learn that. And it was a hard lesson to learn. It's easy for me to go, man, they always asking me for stuff. It's easy for me to look outward, but nothing's going to change when I'm looking outward because I can't control anybody but myself. But when I turned that mirror back on me and said, why does this unfold this way? Why do I say yes when I really mean no? Why do I create these environments where, because it was multiple environments. I couldn't point to one person or one situation. It happened in different ways all the time. And the only common denominator was me. So I had to look at that and go, what am I communicating? How am I communicating? How am I setting up these scenarios so that they keep unfolding like this? It'd be different if it was one person all the time. Then I could go, okay, this person is a user, this person is this, but it wasn't. The only common denominator was me. So I had to really look in the mirror and go, what am I doing to keep recreating this scenario? And it really does us well to ask ourselves hard questions like that. We end up learning things. We end up finding where we are a part of our own emotional demise. When you can figure that out, you can fix you, and you can do it quickly if you choose to. The other person is who they are. They're going to move how they move, completely out of your control. But you are 100% within your control. And when you will be brave enough to take a good hard look at you and see what you might do differently so that you don't keep living the same situations over and over again, you set yourself up for a different type of existence. I've had to do it many times. And I encourage you, do the hard stuff. Have real conversations with that person in the mirror and see where those conversations lead you. All right, let's see what else. We've got another couple of comments. Oh, my mom says, amen, Jay. And then Ollie said, 3 feet from goal. Don't give up. Do what you have. Seek expert advice. Absolutely, Ollie. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Mr. Content, Brian Smart. It looks like you rolling through the streets of your city, but you made it. How are you? Can you unmute?
Yeah, I made it. I'm cold.
I was gonna say you're all bundled up. You look like the weather may not be your friend today.
It's not my friend today. I don't feel like anybody's my friend today.
What? Oh, you in the right
Running
room.
late.
You in the right room because we gotta adjust that mindset. We all your friends.
I'm running late, running behind, trying to get everything squared away. It's the holidays and everybody's being Christmassy.
Christmassy? Hopefully that's a good thing. My mom said hi, Brian.
Hey, Mama J.
And she also says, I love Ollie. Great comment. So my mom loves you, Ollie. So I guess you can call her Mama J too. Deirdre says, standing in gratitude in the moment that you're in. Excellent. Thanks, Jay. Ollie also says, saying no and setting our boundaries in action is giving respect and value to self. Absolutely. And that's where it begins. You cannot expect others to care for you, to know your inner workings and what works and what doesn't, and have all, and just bend and flex and maneuver to that. You have to understand it for yourself. You have to be brave enough to communicate it. You have to respect you. And the only person that has to respect your boundaries are you. If you do it, everything else will align properly. You'll see quickly who's in your circle and who shouldn't be. And then you make the necessary adjustments. But you have to begin by taking care of you. Let's see. Ollie said, Brian, sending warm as we are all your friend. There you go. How dare he come on here and tell me he ain't got no friends?
Well, no, I didn't say I didn't have any friends. I said nobody likes me today.
Oh, okay.
No, hey, don't roll them up. Don't roll them up, Cassandra. I know when you pull those guns out, it's serious. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And then LinkedIn user said, well said, Cassandra. Tell me who you are. I don't know who's showing up as LinkedIn user today, but thank you so much. And then Ollie said, ha, 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 thanks. So I think that's to you, mother. So Brian, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at our quote, but it's when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. Do you have anything you want to share with us as you're rolling through the streets this morning?
Well, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be on this side of the grass, even if it's covered in ice. I'm still glad to be on this side of it. I'm feeling thankful. Every day I wake up, it's a day of gratitude. It's a moment of gratitude. Every single moment of the day. I'm just glad to be here. I've been in some really hairy situations. And any day that I'm not involved in a hairy situation, I'm feeling really grateful for it. I'm feeling really grateful because I did, like you said, Cassandra, I made the decision to look at myself as the common denominator. And when I realized that, everything started to shift. And I'm really grateful that I had the mental fortitude to be able to realize that God is amazing. He works in mysterious ways we can't even begin to understand. And we have to give him credit for what he's doing. We have to give him credit for putting those thoughts in our minds. You know, our brains are not creation stations, they're sending and receiving stations. And believe it or not, the more you put into yourself in a positive manner and a positive perspective, the more comes to you in a positive light. I started off a little slow today because Bree had, you know, they still got a couple of days of school, and she stayed up late last night because the last couple of days she hadn't really been feeling too well. So she's been sleeping late. And she was in a mood this morning. She did not want to leave. She was like, Dad, can we just do one more day? I said, but you just said yesterday you were feeling great. She said, yeah, but I really don't want to go. She said, there's only 2 days left. Why even go, Dad? I said, well, you know, let's just try and, you know, play by the rules and keep it cool. She was like, that's why I like you, old man. So she made me feel good after she said, why are you waking me up? Why you got to do this? Why I got to take a shower this morning? Because I asked you, when do you want to take one? You said, this morning. So I don't remember that. So we had this whole thing laughing and joking back and forth. And I didn't want to let her go. She didn't want to go. I'm watching her walk down the hall, and I'm just thankful that I'm able to watch my daughter walk down the hall. There were so many moments in my life where I never thought I'd get an opportunity to be where I'm at now. You know, I could tell you stories that would make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, but you know, it's all about being grateful for what we have, grateful for what we don't have, right? Because a lot of the times we don't even realize how we're being saved by not getting the things that we want, right? We have to really realize that God is in control and he has our best interests at heart. And I'm just thankful to know that. It changes everything when you realize that. So thanks,
I'm
Cassandra,
thankful
for
to know you're not driving, brother. I
sharing that
certainly
love.
appreciate you giving us your attention and giving us your love. I'm looking at the trees in the background, you're not moving. So I'm thankful that while you're
I
talking with
pulled
us, you're
over.
not in motion. So grateful for that, brother. Stay safe.
Nah, I pulled over. I don't mess around, man. Safety first, E. Safety first. I believe in it. I'll pull over quick. Look, you know, I used to go back and forth. I used to travel back and forth to Chicago. And I used to make a trip every day. It was not every day, every week. It was I think it was a 700-mile round trip. 700 miles one way. So it's 700 miles this way and 700 miles back. So it's like a 1,400-mile round trip. And sometimes, man, I would get so tired. I pull over at a rest stop and I just stay there for the night. I wouldn't, you know, I had that little heater on me and I was good. Lock those doors. If you come inside, it's gonna be your loss, not mine. So anytime I need to take safety precautions, believe me, that's what I do. And I it's hard not to do it when you impress it upon your children. So I tell them all the time, you know, don't text and drive, don't talk on the phone, take out your earbuds, do this, do that. And when they see that you're doing it, it makes it almost a default. They're gonna do it. This morning, Bree was like, she said, Dad, don't scratch, because she saw me scratching my head. And I tell her all the time, don't scratch your skin, don't scratch your skin. She saw me, she said, don't scratch. So if she was to see me on the phone, she'd say, Dad, and y'all have probably heard this, Dad, 2 hands on the wheel.
Yep.
Like, oh man, I'm getting told driving lessons from a 6-year-old. So safety first, E. I do it every day. I admonish everybody to do it. It's not gonna kill you to lose a few minutes in the day. It might save your life.
That's right.
And another thing to be thankful for, right? Another thing to be thankful for. I could
Right.
go on and on. Don't get me started. I'm in my fields, like Jay say now. I feel all this love in the room. I'm in my fields. I'm handing back over to you, Cassandra.
It's showing. You got your glow today. You have your glow. It is showing. My mom said, speak, Brian. You're coming in strong. Ollie said, ego
Thanks,
is
Mom.
blocking God. Just remove the E of the I and add the D. Oh, it moved of the in divine.
There
And
you
then
go.
he said,
I feel you,
Brian.
Ollie.
Cynthia, good morning. Good morning. And he's Ollie also said, oh wow, 1,400 miles is a lot. And he said undivided attention to our environment. And my mom said, yes, Brian, lead by example. Because if I don't know anything else, I know that our children are replicas of what we do, not of what we say. We can talk all day long, but it's the actions that they pick up on.
Absolutely.
And then Ollie says vibes from Belgium to lovely accents. So thank you, Ollie, for all that you shared today. My mom says I love the Fam Five and Ollie. Did you want to say something, Jay?
Yeah, Cassandra, I just wanted to go back to what you said, just a little bit more levity in the conversation this morning. When you said, you know, you, there was some times where it was just you were in that mode of do, and I'm gonna give you a dad joke right now
Oh
on that.
Lord, I'm so fearful right now.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, you can't be you can't say do because that's just gonna be something for the bathroom. That's just for the bathroom. You got to say done, and
Done,
that's
done, done.
done, and that's a musical exclamation point. Done.
Dun dun dun. I got it.
And
Dun
then
dun
he's gone, right?
dun.
Jay's crazy.
The dad jokes. The dad jokes. What would we do without them, right?
Dad joke. Right. That's right. That
And he's
was a
back.
good one, Jay.
And
So
then
there.
Ollie is saying doobie doobie doo. He says the Fam Five is even better than the Jackson Five. Do you allow another soul? So Fam Six, you already a cousin, Ollie. You are already a cousin,
I
and
love it.
we are acquiring cousins along the way. The Fam Five is just the core, but we are growing and accepting and loving. As Brian put it last night, like valued people. We don't need you to be like-minded. We don't need yes people who agree with everything that we say, but like valued. You are here for service. You care about the lives of other people. You're mindful about what you say and how you say it because you know that people are listening and you want to only impact positively. So yes, consider yourself a part of the fam, Ali. You are definitely a cousin. Coral said, Jay, now that's funny. And Barry said, Jay is crazy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And the dad jokes, he's going to keep them coming. We love them. So let me open it up. Anybody have anything you want to say before we shut it down? I'm going to read the quote and send us out in just a moment.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm gonna end on that. Now, that's a good note, I guess.
Yeah. Don't mess that up, man. It's gonna be hard to top that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. I'm gonna be saying that all day. Thanks, Jay.
Me too. It's like in there now. All right. So before this gets too far out of hand, let me see. I think a couple more comments came in. Let me check really quickly on the comments. Where'd they go? Ollie says thanks again for the session, and Cynthia says I like that, like value. Yeah, like-minded can get you in trouble. Like-minded people have done some of the most terrible things this world has ever seen because they couldn't see another point of view. That group think that got them, and they ended up in the history books. So like-minded is not where it's at. It's like value. So are we trying to impact the world in a similar way? All right. So our quote for the day is when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. And that's from the Olympic gold medalist, Kristin Armstrong. All right. So with that, we are getting ready to wrap up. I do want to invite you guys back tomorrow, same time, 7:15 a.m. Central, to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Tomorrow is finally Friday, Focus Friday. So tomorrow we will talk about the importance of focus and how you can use that as a tool to create the life that you are planning for yourself, how to go from planning to actually implementing and living that life. So with that, we are going to call it a day. Thank you guys so much for being with us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Central.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. We hope that you join us tomorrow for another episode. For advertising or sponsorship questions, reach out to Cassandra or any one of the Fam5 on their LinkedIn profiles. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.